Hello, I am Dr. Gorachandgo speaking. Pranam to the elders, namaskar to the same age group people, love and best wishes to the younger generations from the greater India and Indian origins around the globe. I lived in Japan for almost 10 years as a Japanese government scholar for doing research on optical materials and optical technology, including optical fiber communication systems. Since April 99, I am doing part-time research on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose with the advice of my Japanese professor Dr. Hiroyoshi Yajima. He gave me two photo albums of Netaji and unpublished written articles of his father Masayoshi Kakitsubo, who was the Elokam interpreter since 11th of May 1943 to the middle of December 1944, and later on a personal secretary of Netaji in World War II until the death of Netaji on 18th of August 1945. Now you can see the left side photograph where the Netaji statue at the Renkoji temple in Tokyo. This photograph was snapped by my Japanese professor on 27th of March 1999 when before leaving Tokyo permanently to Sydney, Australia. You must know that this temple I visited from 1903 to 99 many times, since the temple is very near to my Japanese professor house in Tokyo. I must tell you here, on the last visit, not on the last visit, before that visit, I saw the ashes of Netaji in a golden urn kept in this Renkoji temple. I am lucky to see the ashes of Netaji there. And I asked, actually the priest showed me everything inside that temple, ashes, everything they showed me about Netaji and other things. We must know that these ashes are kept here since 18th of September 1945, and mostly uh, Indian embassies, they participate the death ceremony every year in this temple. They participate there. We must know that although in here there are two plaques, one plaque Atal Bihari Vajpayee visited twice, written clearly, and he paid homage to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad visited there also. He paid homage to Netaji. But Nehru and Indira Gandhi visited this temple, but they did not mention the name of Netaji and they did not pay homage to Netaji at all, because they claimed Netaji was a war criminal hiding in Russia. I think that's why they did not pay or mention anything about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in that on the plaque. I must tell you, I paid homage to Netaji many times in this temple. Although I researched about Netaji, part-time research in 99, but I was instructed by my Japanese boss and his father that only the book of Netaji should be published when there will be no Congress government at the center in India. That's why I wrote this book after when the BJP government came. And you can see I have designed the cover page and this page by myself after receiving the photos from my Japanese professor. This paperback book was published on 19th of September 2017, and ebook was published on this, and paperback was published on 23rd of November 2019 respectively. This book is available all over the world, not only in India. Amazon is a renowned publisher in the world. Mr. Kapil Kumar should know it, because as I heard, Mr. Kapil Kumar, a historian in India, he has no idea that Amazon is as a publisher. In that context, I must let you know I am a Google scholar not because of this history book. History book is written just now. but I am doing research started my career since 1976, and throughout my life I give so many sorry solved so many problems in the optical physics and optical technology, and I am the man wrote the reference book, single author reference book in 1997, because still I remember when I wrote the book, my Japanese professor is really a saint and my guru who helped me a lot to how I can write that kind of book, and must many thanks to my professor. Not only that, my physics book, but even this Netaji's book, when I wrote, I took all his advice and he helped me a lot when I was writing the book. Because nowadays all communication system no problem. I always talk with him phone, by email or everything. Still now I have communication with Dr. Yajima. Now you can see I am showing you this video. This video was made by Ajtak and it was uploaded by BJP Kakdeep January 5th 2019. I am unable to understand what the BJP has done about this kind of relation with this Netaji. This kind of video, BJP must be careful, because if they want to know, they should have first contact to the Modi ji and Dhwal ji about really who is who. The Netaji's book written in India, all defamatory books on Netaji. There is not a single book available in India about the real idea and philosophy of Netaji in the period of World War II. All defamatory books as claimed by Nehru and all the followers of Nehru. They are all followers of Nehru and Congress party. Even the Anuj Dhar, he was a Congress journalist and he followed the idea of Nehru and wrote 4 defamatory books. I am unable to understand Netaji versus Nehru 007. What does it mean? I don't know. All you must ask Mr. Anuj Dhar about this meaning. I am telling you that Netaji died on 18th of August 1945 at the Nanmon Japanese Military Hospital in Taihoku, now Taiwan. There was no mystery of Netaji's death. It was made by the real indirect war criminal Gandhi and Nehru. In this context, I must let you know that Gandhi did not believe the death of Netaji. He sent a telegram to Sarath Chandra Bose not to perform any Shraddha Shanti because Netaji did not die. He was hiding in Russia. And that was claimed by telegram Gandhi to Sarath Bose. On 27th of December 1945, Nehru wrote a clear letter to Clement Attlee mentioning that Netaji is a war criminal hiding in Russia under the protection of Stalin. These were the character of 2 Congress leaders. Really, they were really indirect war criminal for supporting the war in the World War II. Now, Amazon books have resolved the death mystery of Netaji, having 50 rare photos of Netaji in the period of World War II, mostly his 3 times visit to Tokyo with his team, Chatterjee, Khan and Kiani. The truth always prevails and it will reveal itself automatically. The self-claimed Bharat Ratna awardee Nehru was the mastermind and real criminal to defame Netaji as a war criminal hiding in Russia without having a single proof of evidence till to date. The United Nations or USA did not claim Netaji was a war criminal. Only our Congress leader Nehru claimed it. All Indians should know it. Breaking news. 20 साल तक बोस के परिवार को जासूसी हुई. Who cares about जासूसी? Mr. Dhar, you must remember, on 16th of January 1941, the great escape of Netaji, and until his death, 18th of August 1945, you cannot get any document or anything about Netaji in India. Only you will get the documents from before a great escape and after death. That's all you can get. All the jasusi, all these things is useless and meaningless at all. Meaningless, Mr. Anuj Dhar. And your mystery there is no mystery at all, Mr. Dhar. It was a fact, death. The Indian topmost copyright violator come criminal Anuj Dhar is engaged to defame Netaji as Gumnami Baba without having a single proof of scientific evidence since 2001. He wrote 5 defamatory books on Netaji based on conspiracy theory, plagiarism, copyright violation, and distortion of World War II history. All sorts of defamation on Netaji's book were published from Delhi and New Delhi since 1946, started by Shahnawaz Khan, who was a slave of Nehru throughout his life because he was supposed to be death under in broad daylight by hanging. Only Bhulabhai Desai saved his life, not by Gandhi and Nehru. Therefore, I am telling you know that Gandhi and Nehru, who although they claim is a lawyer, but they are liar. They were not lawyer at all. You cannot find them to any court case performed by Gandhi and Nehru. Bhulabhai Desai saved his life. His book was forwarded by Nehru and published from Delhi. I read that book. I read that book of Shahnawaz Khan. He defamed Netaji in many ways. As for example, in that book, Shahnawaz Khan, to appease Nehru, he mentioned that Nehru created Gandhi, Nehru and Azad Brigade. All are lying. There is no, Netaji never created those 3 names brigades. Nehru, everything is written in my books, that how these defamatory books written by Shahnawaz Khan. The real book was written, but not clearly, Dr. K.K. Ghosh, who visited Japan from after, and he wrote the book after death of Nehru. And as I have researched, and also I I email to the Commissioner of Police Delhi and Kolkata about whereabouts of K.K. Ghosh. And as I realized, I think Mr. K.K. Ghosh was killed by Indira Gandhi in the Congress period, as I have realized. Now we can see after this Shahnawaz Khan, there are many books written. Now recently the Congress to historian, although now he is a BJP historian, Professor Kapil Kumar wrote the recent book on Netaji and INA, but I will let you know in the next slide. Anuj Dhar has no right to steal, crop and use the Amazon ebook photos of Netaji in this video. Not only in this video, any kind of YouTube video, Facebook, Twitter, to give this kind of cropped photos to his friends, like Arnab Goswami, journalist, now is a big boss, Republic World something, Republic TV, and Rehan Faizal, and so many other persons. Even just few months back, the criminal with Chandrachud Ghosh used the photo NP49. Maybe all Indians should know that NP49 is photo is so, everybody likes that photo NP49. But this criminal used, all Indians thought that, oh, it is the photo of the Anuj Dhar, because the criminal is showing in this way that all the photos they thought maybe Indians are thinking, oh, they got from somewhere. But you must know, this criminal has stolen all these photos from my Amazon published ebook, and he should be in jail in maybe. Now you can see the Amazon ebook was presented to Modiji on his birthday gift in 2017, and that ebook was read by Modiji and Thobalji, first 2 Indians. They read it, and as per the copyright laws, when the Indian criminals have stolen and posted in that Facebook, as I remember in 2017 October, I reported to the Indian government and Thobalji against this criminal Anuj Dhar. But in this context, I'll let you know that about Professor Kapil Kumar. The Kapil Kumar was a distorted historian, and he was a historian in the Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNOU, throughout his life. And he was also in charge of Nehru Museum, now a curator of Netaji Museum at Red Fort, New Delhi. Recently, he wrote a book, as this title you can read, Netaji, Azad Hind Sarkar and Fauj, 42 to 47. But he totally distorted the history of Netaji is written clear-cut vision. Netaji never created that kind of sarkar. Netaji created provisional Azad Hind government and Indian National Army INA. No, Kapil Kumar has no right to distort that fundamental history books about Netaji, what he wrote. In this context, I must let you know this I posted in Facebook and Twitter on 10th of March 2022. Kapil Kumar claimed me as a fraud and my Amazon books are fake. Hey Mr. Kapil Kumar, if you have guts, you did not bother to reply my email properly. I wrote you, please explain me about what you claimed. But he did not bother to reply me properly. As I know, Kapil Kumar, what is your contribution for the for Indians or any part of the world? If you have courage, you must know about me. And you how dare you to tell me I am a fraud man and my Amazon books are fake? You should be punished as per the wishes of Netaji, as per the blessings of Netaji. I do feel. Indian topmost copyright fighter Monger, Anuj Dhar, you can see this young look like young boy, but he was, as I remember, in October 2017, in this copyright violation cases, I remember, he was the king and Bandana Garawal was the queen for stealing, cropping all those Amazon ebook photos. King and queen, they enjoyed their life. Oh, we got something. We must do something. The criminal. You must, all Indians should know this criminal. What is his caliber? He only loot, cheat, and do some sorts of stolen activities to write the books on Netaji, Subhash Chandra Bose, all those things. I don't care about what he wrote about Shastriji, that I don't care. But relating to Netaji, he has no right to defame Netaji as Gunai Baba or any Baba. Now we must know he was a Congress to journalist and wrote the defamatory books on Netaji in the UPA government regime. To prove his theory on Netaji as his Baba Gumnami, he should use the photos of Netaji from Russia and India. He has no right to use the photos of the Amazon books materials without permission by violating the copyright laws. As per the Indian copyright laws, Dhar is supposed to be in jail since October 2017, when I reported to the Indian government and Indian police. As I told you, India is still a third world country, and although the law is there, but who will maintain the law? If the Indian government and Indian police did not maintain the law, therefore that's why he is roaming here and there and giving lecture here and there that Netaji was a Gunai Baba. Only possible because of India, a third world country, not protecting the laws at all. Here also breaking news. Congress ne jasus. Who cares jasus? I told you many times, you cannot, actually as I know, they wanted the declassified files. They thought from the declassified file they will get something that Netaji was Gunai Baba, and that they hurted because they cannot find anything. As I told you, there is no documents or anything in India about Netaji from 1941 to death of Netaji. You cannot get anything in India. Now, Netaji, Khan, Chatterjee and Kiani with Japanese dignitaries in front of the Gaimosu guest house on 4th of November 1944. Here, they just have come from Singapore to participate the Greater East Asia Conference in second conference with the Japanese dignitaries in front of the Gaimosu guest house. This photograph, not only this photograph, all the photographs are stolen and cropped by Anuj Dhar and gave to others, as I told you many times. And now this photograph is used in this video. You can see this cropped photograph, they used it here. Breaking news. Jasusi for India Today ka bada khulasa. What is bada khulasa? Who wrote the India Today? All these bullshit stories are written by so-called journalists of friend Anuj Dhar and others, because he has a lot of journalist friend and they wrote this kind of story and in the India Today and history to defame Netaji. That's all. This is photo have nothing to do with the Gunai Baba. This photo is used to prove the death of Netaji in the Amazon books. We remember Mr. Dhar. This is also important slide. नेताजी के पीछे नेहरू का जासूस. हम चाहते हैं कि सुभाष चंद्र बोस की गुप्त फाइलों को सार्वजनिक किया जाए, क्या हमारी निगरानी की, समथिंग यू कैन रीड इट. मनीष तिवारी, यूनियनवाद जस्टिस तारा का आयोग. I just think this, as I wrote in my books, everything you know, that Bose brothers are the second enemy of Netaji after the Congress party. Who is this Bose brothers? Shishir Kumar Bose, Krishna Bose, Sugata Bose, they created the Netaji Research Bureau in 1957 on the disappearance mystery of Netaji. Although Nehru knew the death of Netaji, but he used the Secrecy Act of the British Raj to fool and loot Indians, to defame Netaji. That is the main criteria of Nehru. Similarly, this Chandra Kumar Bose, after joining BJP, he fought in the election, but he lost. And he wanted SIT, Special Investigation Team, to for Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. What is for SIT? This kind of all sorts of commission, or even Mukherjee commission, all these commissions used the public money to fool and loot Indians. That's all in the name of Netaji. Similarly, he wanted that kind of SIT, but I emailed to Modi ji, please don't make all these kind of things. You can read my Amazon ebook. Everything is proved that death of Netaji. And I'm lucky that Modi ji did not approve that kind of SIT. You must know, this also member of, he supported Anuj Dhar before, and on the road of Calcutta Road with Anuj Dhar, he worked together to claim something. I still remember in 2018. Maybe now he is not believing Netaji as Gumnami Baba, but before that, this man also believed him. Also, he was also copyright violator, as I have written in my Amazon ebook, updated Amazon ebook. All the things are there. All the criminals, their activities are published in updated Amazon ebook. Who has stolen my Amazon ebook photos and used in the social media or somewhere? Everything, mostly everything, I have included, so that the history should remain in the world. This is not only in India, all world. Even I can see, I think last week I saw 2 or 3 persons from UK, London, they purchased the Amazon ebook, and I can really am happy that they can see the copyright violation by these Indian criminals. Again, you can see that NP29 photo here. You can see NP, and that photo used with another Netaji's photo. I'm sure this photo they have used my NP2 photo with the computer morphed and modified, because this kind of dress only used by the computer morphed, and this criminal is used to fool the Indians about this kind of activity. Again, breaking news, 1948 से 68 तक हुई बोस के परिवार की जासूसी. I told you, who cares about jasusi? This is Nehru. Nehru jasusi, although he created jasusi, but he paid our public money to Netaji Research Bureau throughout the whole years. Even still now, even BJP government must be giving money to the Netaji Research Bureau, because it is an NGO. And similarly, Anuj Dhar also created a NGO, Mission Netaji. In the name of Netaji, he is doing business and writing books since 2001. All Indians should know this, that they are doing. That's why I told them as a money monger. Not only defamation of Netaji, but using the name of Netaji, he is a money monger. Again, Netaji, Khan, Chatterjee and Kiani, the same photograph they used against, but since they used 2 times, I am also saying that 2 times just to have the same thing. You can see the same thing they have used again in the second time. Now you can see Netaji, Khan, Chatterjee and Kiani with some dignitaries in front of the Gaimos guest house on the same day, 4th of November 1944. This is the important photograph, and most of the Indian criminals since 2000 October 17, many people are using. Somebody claimed that this photograph is from Moirang. Somebody defames. Even Anandabazar Putrika people are using so many ways. All bullshit history, mostly they created in the name of Netaji. But I am telling you, this they have cropped it, the photograph, and used here, as you can see. This is the one important photograph that was the when they came to Tokyo. that warm welcome party made by the hosted by Masashi Kaketsubo and other dignitaries. You can see they are dignitaries. As per the host system, I am very lucky to let you know, and I know the system. Here, all in the front, the Indians, not Indians, Greater Indians, they sat in front, and in behind all the Japanese dignitaries and take the photograph. And they host. That means how they are accommodated the newcomers in that country. This kind of host system in Japan. They cropped this photo and used here to fool the Indians, Mr. Anuj Dhar. Nehru ke jas korai, Netaji ke jasusi. As I told you many times, these photographs has nothing to do with Netaji ke jasusi by Nehru. There is nothing Nehru. It is a World War II photograph, Mr. Anuj Dhar. On that time, Nehru was nowhere. He was enjoying his life with Lady Mountbatten, and Netaji was fighting for our independence, freedom. That is the main scenario all Indians should know. Nehru was enjoying with Lady Mountbatten, and our Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was fighting with his team for our freedom. This is the main scenario, Mr. Anuj Dhar, puppet and slave of Nehru. On Netaji's 125th birth anniversary, Modi government must declare Netaji was the first Prime Minister of Greater India, and 21st of October 1943 was our Independence Day. Ashes of Netaji must be brought to India, scattered a portion of it in the Ganges River at Haridwar, and the remaining portion should be kept at the recently built Netaji Temple in Varanasi. All Indians around the globe are requested to subscribe my YouTube channel to know about Netaji based on my recent Amazon books, that is ebook in English and Hindi and paperback book in English published all over the world by Amazon. These are the links. As I told you, these are the links. I am just preparing for the hardcover book as Amazon requested me. I think it will be very good book in the world. Jai Hind, Jai to Netaji, Bande Mataram.